Ukraine, and I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and we are broadcasting live right now. So we'll be broadcasting on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, as well as many other Facebook channels right now. So feel free to ask us any questions as we're going along. Send us some hearts, some high fives, and some love. I know that you're here. I will be able to post your comments on the page, and we'll be able to answer any questions right now. So let's talk a little bit about the Time to Wine broadcast. Is a live broadcast featuring experts in wine, social media, marketing, and leadership, and it's every other Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The live, I'm interviewing people from all over the world. As you can see, we've got Konstantine from Ukraine. So we have international people. So the live video interviews are broadcast every other Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in November, I have a queue of people that will be aired every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are now broadcasting live, and I'm working with different countries. I have a friend in Australia that's 16 hours ahead. So we're having to do the broadcast at different times to go live. But I've been approved for LinkedIn Live, and we now will be broadcasting on LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. All right. So also, if you're interested in sponsoring the Time to Wine broadcast, please send me a direct message. I'd love to have a brand sponsorship and also offer different brands to different groups of people. So let's get going without any further ado. Let's talk to Konstantine. Konstantine Ivanov is the export marketing manager at Vitmark in the Ukraine. He is in Odessa. Konstantine, do you want to tell us a little bit about where you are?
Yeah, like it's pretty far from you, Jessica, but we're situated
on the other side of the world.
Yeah, eastern part of Europe. But my city, Odessa, is just on the sea, on the southern part of Ukraine.
And do you have a map you want to show
Mm.
of where you are, where you're located? We'll talk more about the Ukraine too. You can talk a little bit more about it. Oh, here's the map. Okay. So
map.
Here we go.
Here we go,
okay.
Ukraine. And here we go, Odessa.
Oh, wow. What sea are you near? I can't see it.
It's a Black Sea.
It's near the Black Sea?
Yeah. We're going
okay.
to Mediterranean and then to the ocean.
Oh, okay. Okay. So near Romania and then close to Italy and Spain. That is so interesting. So tell us a little bit about Odessa.
It's a great city to live. I'm native here. My parents are natives here, so like a few decades living here. It's a combination of different cultures because the city is pretty old. It's about 220, 35 plus years old. And it was always the city near the sea with the port. And different cultures combined here, and the people are so interesting here that they absorb all the cultures that were living here, and we became that we are now. So Odessa is famous for its humor. We have lots of celebrations for humor. We even have a big celebration on 1st April Fool's Day. It's a pretty big celebration here. So the city is have its own like vibe.
And then from what you show me in photographs and things, there's a lot of cultural festivals too that celebrate the culture in the past.
It's just I think every week we have something going on here, and we have deep religious holidays and other fests that people are making by their own. For example, we have the Fest of Fests. So it's about 200 fests in one day. Everyone making on its own small one. Or we have, for example, Ginger Day, where there are a lot of people with ginger hairs all over the city, and it's pretty fun.
So let's talk a little bit about your work history. So you've changed positions a few times here. So you were working for a big wine brand, and now you're working for Vitmark in Ukraine. So let's talk about your work history and then your work as an export marketing manager.
Yeah. So one of the first my jobs were in Neo Winery. It's one of the biggest wineries in Ukraine. We did a lot of work there. I was working as export manager, doing sales and marketing both, and it's helped me to visit a lot of countries and know everything I know about the wine on this work. So it's like big induction in the world of the wine that I was in love, truly in love. The next one was the project Wine and Love that I'm still loving and still hoping that it will work well. It's a wine with a love history on the bottles. We showed love of two people that were going through the labels, and the idea of the blend was also helping to develop the love story from the very beginning. And now I'm working on Vitmark. It's not a wine company. We are one of the biggest juice producers and the biggest baby food producer here in Ukraine. Also, previous year we launched like new for us, but not new for all the world, plant-based beverages like coconut milk, almond milk. We are also expanding this. Company is big, a lot of products, so all people know about us. It's pretty interesting to work in such a company because it's a great opportunity to learn and to meet the people.
So are you exporting for Vitmark too? Are you exporting the baby food?
Yes, we have like Ukrainian baby food. For example, this one is organic. We are the first one in Ukraine who launched the organic baby food. And we are working now on export brand. It's called Mama Knows, because only Mama knows what is best for her child. What was the idea. And it will be only export brand.
So let me ask you while you're talking about organic foods really quickly. Is that so where I live, organics are very everyone wants organic food, vegan food, vegetarian food, and I noticed in London it was very similar. So in the Ukraine, is that new that people are looking for organics, or has that been going on in the products just developing toward that?
Yeah, for every year, this idea of the plant products and organic products products that are healthier for you, it's growing every year and it's really booming. So we want to be on the first lines of learning people what is the alternatives. For example, our brand Vega Milk is
Is that milk?
Vega Milk.
I think the most wonderful thing about being in a foreign country is going through the products and trying to find something. So that's milk? Okay.
And 2 years before, people didn't know about the plant milk and what it is, only for hipsters or some so close audience. But now we're speaking about it, telling people why it's good and how they can use it, and the market is growing every day. Also, interesting product area that we launched. We are the biggest producers for baby food in pouches in this kind of package. But we have launched pouches for adults also, for sports, with the protein, with the chia seeds, with the fruit, only fruits inside. And we didn't expect even that it will be good here in Ukraine, but it's really the product that people want to buy. Instead of chocolate bar, for example, have a snack, you're buying fruit smoothie, eat it, and you have your coverage for small meal that you have.
That's interesting because that's sort of the same evolution that's going on in the United States, or has been going on, and apparently in different parts of Europe. So what I wanted to ask you about, let's talk about wine and love. So the first thing I wanted to mention is Konstantine went really out of his way to send me some wine from the Ukraine, Wine and Love, and I think it took a year to get here. I think there were some issues with it. Landed in California, and then they didn't have the right certification, and then we had people in California helping out. And eventually, and it seems like it was a very long time later, a box arrived. He said, well, maybe it was put on a truck, and then maybe sometime I'd get it. And eventually a box of wine from the Ukraine landed on my doorstep, which was wonderful. And I've been serving it to people. Talk a little bit about the evolution of Wine and Love.
And I can show if you want some screen share.
Sure.
I will tell more about the product. So the idea was to
here we go.
Give a love story on the bottles. Is the screen okay?
Yes, I can see it.
So the first one is Cabernet. It's male. It's about a successful man. The wine is strong with tannins. The idea is like that. Next one is mellow. It's more fruity. It's more about the women. It's then the next step, they meet the first meet. It's blend of the Cabernet and Merlot. So the male and female met in the blend. So they complete each other in this blend. The next, the love gets stronger and sweeter, of course. So we have the semi-sweet wine with also interesting blend, adding our Ukrainian grapes Odessa Black. It's giving a color and interesting aftertaste. After they love getting stronger, they start to travel. And we have white semi-sweet wine that you want to drink while you're on the vacation, on yachting or whatever. They just want to travel and feel the free emotions that they have. And the latest one is the line is red sweet fortified wine. The love going to maximum, nothing impossible for them. And the wine also have very strong blends with adding the alcohol, so it's fortified 16 degrees. And like finish of their love story, but not for now, but not for the future. We have also the idea how to expand this, and my friend who is owning this brand, he have so big plans for this wine. I hope he will do great with this.
That's so wonderful. And the wine. So talk a little bit about, you were exporting the wine to different countries, and there were different sort of expectations in the countries. Were you exporting China?
Yes. So we are focusing on the main market is China, where the people love this story behind the product. Then we go to the US and United Kingdom. as the markets when we can use our digital marketing strategies going in the best way. And after US and the UK, it have to be Israel and other countries that we want to cover. But first, we need to find good partners. Not me, but I mean my friends need to find good partners to expand the sales on Asia market. It's really interesting. People are every year, the Chinese wine market is booming. They have on vineyards now there. A lot of experts, a lot of degustations, exhibitions there. So people want new products, and the product with a story is always a good thing you can sell. Now people don't want to buy only a product in a bottle, but they want something about it, something behind, maybe behind the scenes, or how you make it, or like the story with the product. That's our goal.
In the wine industry in Ukraine, are you offering canned products, or are you offering, what I'm seeing is a trend right now all over the world. South Africa is low calorie, non-alcoholic beverages, or very low calorie, as well as
Yeah,
vegan and organic in the wine. Are you seeing that as well where you are? 'Cause I know you're
we
seeing it in
have,
trends in food.
yeah, we have companies that making zero wine and low alcohol wine also. But for now, here people don't know why do they need to buy the wine without alcohol containing it. And the taste of these products sometimes is not the same. Like if you have the even 11 degrees in product or 9 degrees. So this alcohol contains complement the tannins, sugars, so if you have them, or other products inside the wine. So it's combination doing this taste without alcohol contain. It will not like open in aroma or in aftertaste.
Okay.
We
And so
have
let's talk.
also
Oh, go ahead. I'm
regarding
sorry. Excuse me. Pardon.
regarding to the canned wine, it's only started now. But it's good for the younger that they don't want to buy the full bottle of 1 liter or 750 milliliters. So can it's a good product to take and go and drink on the somewhere in the park or at home or just wherever they want.
So let's talk a little bit. So the fun and adventure of culture shock between countries. So we've talked a little bit about culture shock between the United States and the Ukraine, but you've had you've done quite a bit of traveling, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And you work with people from different countries. So what
Yeah,
of your
that's
culture shock experiences in Europe and the United States and other countries you've been to?
No, I think the difference, of course, the first one difference between Europe and US, it's a language barrier. So too many countries with different languages, you have to know the basics of the language you are going to. For example, in Hungary, there are um, all the signs, all the tourist signs are in Hungarian, not English. So you have to adapt. They don't want to speak with you with the English, but the most of the Europe English is okay. It's quite an interesting. And the second one is the territories. I think so. In Europe, everything is so close. The cities are close to each other, and in US, without a car, you cannot even go to the work or to the shop. You have to have a car. It's like the must that you need.
And what I really like about Europe is that you don't have to, like, I was living in Siena and I walked everywhere. And then if I wasn't walking, there were buses available to go anywhere you wanted to go and also the train. So what I found so amazing about Siena or Italy is the transit situation that's available, particularly with trains and the availability of trains. And I really wish in the United States that we had developed the train system in the way that Europe's train system works. But of course, I think here the interest was pertaining to purchasing vehicles and gasoline as opposed to doing economic things for the Americans.
Yeah, some
Okay.
countries in Europe are now switching to electric vehicles, or, for example, in Luxembourg, the public transport is free of charge for everyone. So they're trying to minimize yes, this CO2.
And then you
But
mentioned some of the other culture. I'm sorry, there's a little bit of delay. Did I interrupt you there?
the culture, because in US there are also a combination of different cultures, so you can meet in one country different people with different cultures, and they were living in the one city, and it was pretty interesting. When I was in the US, I was in Washington DC, and for this half a year, I meet so many people, and I want to talk to everyone to know more about them, to also to speak about my country and share what they're living like. And it's the traveling and talking to people who are natives. It's also very interesting to develop yourself, to know how people live in other countries.
So let me ask you this. So let's talk a little bit about COVID. So do you want to talk about we're still in the middle of an evolution here where I am. We're wearing masks. In other countries, people aren't wearing masks. It looks like we have a question. Excuse me. Let me see what we have here. Here's a question. Oh, hello. How are you doing, Armin? It's nice to see you from Switzerland. Do you have any questions that you want to ask us? Jump in with us. Okay, so there we go. Haha, I didn't see that. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to ask any questions if you have them. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about COVID and what's happened with you in COVID from the beginning to now. What's going on, and have you seen any silver linings?
Yeah. So it started the previous winter here in Ukraine, the main lockdown. The companies started to, we were locked, the shops were closed, and it was really frightening for the people. We have announcement that there will be no food on their shelves, so make your just fill up your houses with the food, so be prepared. But it was just frightening, and every company who wanted to survive this COVID, like, they have to adapt, and we have here a lot of delivery companies that integrated in our life for so close. In 1 year, it's became like it is usual for us. But we have all the supermarkets delivering food to your house without contacting you. That's what we don't have in 1 year before. It's pretty interesting. But this lockdown helped people to understand what do they really need, and help to connect with each other in a different way, in the like electronic way. Everyone started to learn how to use voicemails or streaming. The schools started to adapt to the e-learning. So we have in so many changes in this 1.5 year. So we have different consuming situation now here. And what we learned, what the keys that companies really expand their sales points where they can offer their services and sales, and it's make it for people easier to consume these services or goods they have.
So real quickly, I'll mention again, we are broadcasting live. We are on Facebook Live. We are on LinkedIn Live. We are on YouTube Live. We'd love to have you send us some love. Let us know that you're with us. Send us some hearts. Send us some waves. Jump in. You're feel free to ask any kind of question that you'd like to ask. And then, of course, I think I'm doing 2 or 3 of these this week, so you'll see us again. All right. And so right now, Konstantine, are you guys wearing masks?
Yes, all the public places people need to be with masks. Shops, even when you're entering your apartment, you need to wear masks while in a lift. So yes, people get used to it.
Okay, so we're still wearing masks
start,
too.
We have overpriced masks. People try to earn money on this, but it's get easier in 1 month since
In 1 month. What's happening with us is our prices are going up. So our prices are going up. We're having product shortages. Are your prices going up? The prices on the mask are going up.
Yeah, from on the start of the COVID lockdown.
And then so one of the things we were doing here, there was a lot of people producing really inexpensive masks as a community service. So, for example, Old Navy was using their scraps of materials and they were producing really inexpensive masks. They were just hard to get at the beginning. So there were a lot of people in the community producing masks for the hospital and producing masks for local people and giving them to people. And it was more of a community service and helpful thing than it was price gouging. But what I'm seeing right now are the food prices are going up and the clothing prices are going up and the services are going up, like haircuts and things like that. So we're getting close to time here. So I wanted to ask you, let's talk about the Ukraine. So what are some of the things to see and do in the Ukraine? And I haven't checked the prices to the Ukraine. I don't know what the prices are right now. As you know, a lot of us have not been flying internationally.
Yeah.
So what are some things to do? I've become very interested in that. So what are some things to see and do in the Ukraine?
So we have different parts of the Ukraine. The first I will talk is Odessa, is the south. It's sea. We have lots of resorts here, lots of things you can do, extreme sports or just sitting on the beach, nightclubs. A lot of things to do. Also interesting architecture in Odessa. We have opera theater that is the second or the third most beautiful in the world after Vienna, I think, with great architecture and also pretty interesting shows in there. This like Odessa. Also, we have the western part. It's near all over the Carpathian Mountains. It's more European style cities. It's like Lviv, Ivano-Frankivsk, and we have mountain resorts there. So every winter, me and my wife is going to mountains to do snowboarding. But in the summer, you also can come to mountains for mountain biking, hiking, or just for eating the blueberries from the top of the mountain, like we did a few weeks before.
And are you right now? We're in the same weather pattern. You're not in South America. Okay, so right now it's fall where you are. Is the temperature moderate right now, or is it raining?
21 Celsius. I'll check in Fahrenheit. It's 70 Fahrenheit now.
Oh, okay. So it's warm then? Pretty
Yes,
warm?
for now it's real warm. So
Okay.
we have pretty warm autumn, but I think in a week or two we'll have colder.
Okay. So in closing here, let's talk a little bit about some of your tips for entrepreneurs.
Tips for excuse me.
Tips for entrepreneurs in moving
Entrepreneurs.
ahead through. We've gone through
For
kind of a dip
what
here.
I'm learned, yes, for working for the export, it's sometimes people don't need, like I told, only the product, but the story behind the product. And if you got a good, interesting idea how to tell people about your product, then the product will go behind, will sell itself. That's what I think is really good now. But for export, every country is different. But still, if you know how to deal with, you don't need to be afraid to go for export sales, because the companies are always looking for the new products from the other countries, and sometimes your product will fit well in market that you didn't even expect. For example, we now have a lot of plant-based sales in Africa, Mozambique, South Africa, Jordan, and we didn't even expect that this product will go in these countries, but we have what we have. So don't need to be afraid to go on export sales. It's always good opportunity to meet people and to find new clients.
I found, this little broadcast I did. I started the Time to Wine broadcast with the graphics that we've been doing for a while, and then I started doing the video. Now I've started doing the live broadcast, and it's been a really interesting thing to do during COVID, because it's kept us all connected to one another. And it's interesting because if you can use social media, you can speak, you can teach, you can talk to people in different countries. So it's just, I've sat here working on this, and I continually work on it. So real quickly, how do people find you? I've got your Twitter handle down here at the bottom. So if someone wants to connect with you, how would they find you? And then we'll just close.
I think it's better to find me in LinkedIn or Instagram.
Okay.
Konstantine Vine in Instagram, Konstantine Ivanov in LinkedIn.
Okay, and find you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Konstantine.
Thank you, Jessica.
For conferencing it. What I'm so proud of, the first two several of the international broadcasts. So I was talking to Adam in Israel, and we were talking, and he just disappeared. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm not sure how I'm going to talk about Israeli wine by myself. And then the second one was another international. I'm trying to think of who I was talking to, but they disappeared also. You did a great job. Your internet is great. It's just fabulous. So in closing, if you'd like to sponsor the show, please send me a direct message. I'd love to have Rand sponsor. And I'd love this. Oh, we have another comment here real quick. Let's see if there's any. Let's see what we've got here. Hello, Lane. How are you? I think Lane actually went to camp with me when I was about 16. Hey, Lane. Thanks for sending me a message. I think you were my BFF at Camp Chandler. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
You need to get the rest of the Derek and everybody else to join in. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh gosh, I was a camp nut at Camp Chandler, and I went to camp with Lane and Derek and a few other people. So, all right. In closing, The Time to Wine broadcast is featuring experts in wine, social media marketing, and leadership, as well as marketing. I'd love to have any comments. Thank you, Lane. Share this around with anybody else from camp. I'd love to talk to you guys. I can do a broadcast with you guys. Okay, thank you so much. And I'll do a closing here. And then, Konstantine, how do you say bye where you live, aside from bye?
In Ukrainian, it's do побачення. It's like
okay, I'll give that a whirl.
До побачення.
Побачення?
До побачення.
No побачення?
Yeah.
So before I come to the Ukraine, I must study.
I will help you. It's not a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to close here, and I'll talk to you soon.